What's happening, YouTube? It's me again, and I only have one of my eyes done. You know what that means. That means it's time for another tutorial, yay! This actually comes by special request from a friend of mine named Corey. Hey girlfriend, how you doing? Now Corey is the kind of person, you know, she's a mom, she's got a little tiny baby at home who's so cute, and she doesn't really, you know, take time for herself a whole lot, which, you know, she's constantly worrying about other people, never taking time to pamper herself. And she came to me asking about how to pump up red hair and blue eyes. She's one of those people who have the incredibly rare, incredibly amazing blessing of having red hair and blue eyes. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous combination, but the makeup for it can be pretty difficult. I hope I have fulfilled her requests for this with this eye look. This is what I'm gonna be showing you guys how to do today. Real smoky, real sexy, real like night out, like no one's wearing this during the day. Okay, you can see it's got some rose gold, and this is still using neutral tones because, you know, wherever you go, whatever research you do, everybody says the same thing when it comes to red hair. Neutrals are your best friend. Like everywhere I looked, it was always browns, golds, beiges, maybe the occasional mauve shade or like a plumber tone. For the most part, people were like, you know, completely avoid all major colors and just stick to neutrals. And I was like, well, I mean, you know, she's already doing a lot of daytime neutral brown and gold looks, but maybe I can take those neutral tones that Corey probably already has at home and turn it into something really deep and pumped up and sexy and sultry. So if you guys want to learn how to achieve this sexy, sultry eye look, then keep on watching. Let's get started. First things first, I'm gonna grab my Lorac Pro Palette. I love this thing, and this is what I'm gonna be using for the majority of the eye look, give or take a few things. I've already primed my eye with Urban Decay's primer potion, but make sure you prime your eyes with a look like this, otherwise you're gonna be creasing all over the place. When it comes to like darker, smokier, richer looks like this, you want to start with the lightest colors you're going to use and slowly work your way outward. So we're going to start with the lightest color I'm going to use in the look, which is beige. This color right here. This basic e.l.f. kind of blendy, whoozy what's it thingy. And I'm gonna take beige and kind of pop it in my inner corner and on the first third of my lid. If you see me staring off into space, my mirror's over here. Gonna pop that in the inner corner, because even though we're going out, even though we're having a good time, you know, we still want to look awake, duh. Run it along that lower lash line a little. Now I'm gonna go into the next darker shade, which is Rosé. A lot of you who have watched reviews of the Lorac Pro palette know about this color. It's the color no one can pronounce, but everybody loves. So we're gonna take Rosé, and I'm gonna pop it basically all over the rest of my lid space. Over my lid, right there, and just kind of blend it into the beige shade a little bit. Now it's time to get a little darker. I am going to pop in a little bit of a crease shade first, just to make blending easier later on. So I'm gonna take this matte shade Nectar and whoop, light brown right there with a big old fluffy brush, and I'm gonna mix them together just to make my ideal peach toned brown crease shade. Tap it off a little bit and just rock it all up in my crease. Let's get darker, shall we? I'm gonna take a flatter paddle brush. This is Sonia Kashuk number 106. See, it's kind of flat but a little bit bushy at the top. And I'm gonna take Mocha, which is our next darkest shade, right on down the line here, and I'm gonna pop that in the outer third of my eye and just kind of start to form the shape that the look's gonna take. Don't be afraid of the dark, guys. Dark shadow can be your friend. See? Perfect. Now I'm gonna take Cocoa, which is another really dark, deep, kind of cool brown there, and I'm gonna do this with the same brush tap the crap off of it because this is a very pigmented color. And I'm gonna go into my outer V here, and I'm just gonna draw a little bit of a line in the outer crease. Y'all can't see what I'm doing. So yeah, just doing an outer V kind of action here, and that's just gonna kind of give a little more depth. Dat Cristo. I'm gonna go a little bit warmer, but still just as dark as that. I'm gonna use this Chacott for Professionals kind of chocolatey brown, gorgeous, shimmery chocolatey brown color. It's not really shimmery, it's got like a sheen, but it's not like a total shimmer. And I'm gonna use a Sonia Kashuk 116. It's this kind of sort of fluffy, but domed at the same time. Tap it a little bit in there, and we're just gonna line and kind of draw the shape of our eye up in here. And this is gonna kind of blend out that cocoa color too. And basically when it comes to the shape of this smoky eye, we're going for starting in the lower lash line and then continuing that line up and out. So kind of keep that in mind as you're adjusting the shape. And don't take that too far in. See how I'm just going to right about there? Keep it right there because we don't want to, like, you know, look like we got punched in the face. Now we're going to go even darker. Now, when it comes to red hair and blue eyes, you kind of want to avoid black at all costs. Avoid complete black, but there's a way to make look smoky without using black. And that's to use really, 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 really dark brown. This particular dark color I'm using is from e.l.f.'s Pressed Mineral Eyeshadows, and this is in Forest Frolic. It's beautiful. It's a nice, almost kind of green-toned, dark sable brown, which is going to be gorgeous. It's going to complement your red hair. It's going to complement your blue eyes. It's just going to make everything go blah. That was an unattractive noise. I'm just going to take another fluffy Sonia Kashuk 109 brush. This is the same kind of brush I used to get into my crease earlier. It's just a different one that I use for darker colors. Guys, if you find these, if you find Sonia Kashuk 109s, just get like 10 of them because I have 2 and they are like my life. We're gonna just tap it. Just barely tap it. Knock most of that extra pigment off because this thing is dark. And you're just gonna take the very end of the brush here and we're gonna swirl it ever so lightly. I'm barely touching my eye here. And we're just gonna swirl it on the outer corner like that and sort of kind of windshield wiper it into the crease a little bit too. Swirly, swirly, swishy, swishy, boom. Don't be afraid of the dark, but be a little bit, I guess, conservative with your dark colors, because you can always add more, but it's really hard to take away, especially with dark eyeshadow. I'm gonna go ahead and work my lower lash line a little bit, and then we'll get into blending this out. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this kind of crown brush detailer, precision detail, that's what this is called. Use that darker Forest Frolic color on the very, very outside of my lower lash line. And we're gonna get just on this outer part of the lower lash line. But I wanted to try and make this look pretty easy because Corey is just starting to kind of foray into makeup, and we want to make a beginner's life easy, simple, and fun, most importantly. Like, honestly, the most important tip I can give you for a look like this, take your time. Go slow. Don't feel rushed. Give yourself plenty of time for this. Because doing makeup can be a very meditative experience. Actually, I think it's really relaxing. I'm gonna pop into my Kat Von D Ladybird palette. You guys know I love this for fall. It's got a bunch of matte neutrals and they're beautiful. I'm going to use the color called Wolf, which is this color right here, this chocolatey brown shade. Dip it on my little precision detail brush, same brush, and I'm just gonna run that all the way around the lower lash line. And bring it in pretty far. Almost all the way in, just to meet that beige shade you put in the inner corner here. The lower lash line is pretty much done. Nice and easy, right? Now we're gonna get into blending. So I'm gonna go back in with that Wolf color, this warm chocolatey brown right here, with my Pro Blending Fluff. Tap it just barely touch it. Don't even, like, barely any product on the brush. And then we're gonna use that in windshield wiper motions back and forth, and right on the edge of where your dark brown ends, just start to kind of diffuse that out. I don't even know if you can see what I'm doing. Here we go. I kind of stopped as I was working with this here, and I noticed that I want this to be warmer. You know, when it comes to red hair, you like warmer tones to kind of bring life and warmth to your face and bring out the red tones in your hair. So I'm gonna take Cleopatra, which is this burnt orange shade right here. I know it looks scary. Trust me on this, it's gonna be gorgeous. Tap it off, and then I'm gonna go on the edge of that brown again and just warm it up with the burnt orange. Work it into the smaller part of your crease too, the part you kind of left pretty open. Just tap a little bit down in there too. Don't feel compelled to go out and spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on all these palettes. I love these palettes, that's why I'm using them in this look, but honestly, do what works for you. We're gonna go back in with this kind of highlighter brush, this little elfie thing, and I'm gonna take my blending shade. Now, blending shades are one of those things that are just gonna be different for different people. Just pick an eyeshadow color that's really close to your skin tone. Mine is this base shadow here from this Wet n Wild Color Icon palette. And I'm just gonna take that on this brush, gonna get up there and diffuse this out. Like, the lines might look a little harsher on camera, but trust me, they're blended perfectly. Of course they are, because I did them. And then you're gonna go ahead and work up the side here, on the side of the eye look, to kind of clean up that shape, just in case it got a little bit out of line. If you got a little crazy with the dark brown, don't panic. Just use your blender shade and work over that part of the eye, and it'll lighten up the color. And pow! That's pretty much the eyeshadow done. With red hair and blue eyes, we don't want to lose the eyes, we want to avoid black at all costs. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a chocolate brown eyeliner. This is the eyeliner that comes with the Kat Von D Ladybird palette. You can use whatever you have. This is called Immortal Love. These eyeliners are amazing. I love them. And I'm gonna go ahead and run this on my upper lash line all the way from the outside to the inside. So just close your eyes and kind of run it as close to your lash line as humanly possible. Doesn't have to be perfectly clean because I'm going to smudge this out with a pencil brush anyway. Do your little dance. And you can pop this right on the outside of your lower waterline as well. I'm going to go ahead and do that right there, just on the outside, just to make sure those lines are meeting up from the top to the bottom. We're getting sultry. Getting sexy up in here. Woo! Now I'm gonna take a pencil brush, only a smaller one. You can use the same one if you want. Mine's pretty dirty, so I'm gonna leave it alone. But I'm gonna use this teeny tiny one. Little bitty, look how cute that is. And I'm gonna smudge out my upper liner. If you're using the Kat Von D liner, do one eye at a time, because this stuff sets so quickly. And once it sets, you're pretty much not gonna move it. And I mean, if your shape is looking way out of whack at this point, you can just take a makeup wipe, wrap it around your finger, shoop, done. On my first eye, I used the Eyeko Skinny Brush Mascara. Fantastic mascara, love it, love it. But for this other eye, I'm going to use the Too Faced Better Than Sex Mascara. I just got a new one, my other one dried out, and I just got a new one, and I just cannot wait to crack this open. This stuff makes your lashes look plush and gorgeous. So just go ahead and put that on your upper and lower lashes. And as I'm running the brush up, I like to kind of twist it. It helps to emphasize the curl in the lashes. Mascara is on. Now we're gonna move on to falsies. I know false eyelashes are so intimidating, but it's okay. You and me are gonna get through it together. As a burlesque performer, I have dealt with a good amount of false lashes in my time, and I've kind of developed a technique that I think works for me, honestly. Do whatever gets you through the night. I used these e.l.f. eyelashes. I think they're the natural ones, and I just cut the fuck out of them. Like, I chopped them in half, so I've just got this little tiny half piece here, and I'm gonna use this as a half lash. I'm using the Revlon Precision Clear Lash Adhesive. This is still my favorite lash glue of all time because it starts out blue and it dries clear, so you're not seeing any ugly lash glue smudgeroos. And my lashes just do not budge when I wear this. Like, could wear it in a hurricane. Just absolutely awesome. So I just put it on the very rim of the lash here, and I'm gonna let it dry for a second. And that way it's gonna get nice and tacky, so it's just gonna stick to my eyelash, we hope. So this is gonna go from kind of the middle of your eye to the outside. And you're just gonna swoop it down and get it as close to your natural lashes as humanly possible. I'm gonna flip over to my magnifying part of my mirror here. Magnifying mirrors are your friends when it comes to stuff like this. So when I put this on the other eye, I noticed that my inner lashes were looking a little bit sparse on that side. And if you have that issue, no problem at all. Because what you can do is use some of the trimmings from cutting your eyelashes to kind of bulk up whatever you need to bulk up. So I have this itty bitty little teeny tiny, oh no it fell, little kind of set of 3 lashes here. And I'm gonna paint some glue on that and put that basically between where my natural lashes are on the inside and where the falsies are on the outside, and that's just gonna kind of bring the two together. Okay, this is a lot easier to do with tweezers, but I'm a dumbass and forgot my tweezers upstairs. My face is disappearing. So you see we just kind of bulked up those lashes a little bit. Perfect. And the only thing that's gonna make false lashes easier is practice and time. Just sit in front of a mirror, take your time, use some tweezers, you'll be okay. This is the finished eye look. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my face, and I'm going to put on my wig and show you guys the final look. Okay, here we have it. This is the final look. We're going to go ahead and ignore the fact that my red wig looks like Ariel right now. It's still a little bit damp from me straightening it out, and I've still got some work to do on it, but the whole point of this is so you can see how our eye makeup looks with red hair. Just, you know, did really basic stuff, kind of avoiding contouring as much as possible because a person with naturally red hair wouldn't necessarily want to use bronzer, but I did put a little bit of a highlighting blush on my cheeks, nice pinky nude lip, because you don't want to go too crazy when you got an eye this intense. I really love how this came out. I mean, it might not be able to translate to camera, but my eyes are popping right now. The hair color is popping, like, ugh. I might actually wear this out sometime with this wig if I can get it to style the way I want it to. So, there you go. We'll do a couple of awkward poses here so you can see. Very sassy, very sultry, very sexy. I hope you like the look, Corey. I hope this helped in any way, shape, or form. So now it's your turn, YouTube. I want to see you guys try to do this look and let me know if you like it. Go ahead and leave a like and a comment and subscribe and leave that love, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!